Hit me.
All right.
All right. We are live and everybody's ready for the close up.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to Mind Your Business Monday. I am your host, Travis.
And I'm Arletha.
And Mind Your Business Mondays is brought to you by On Point Alliance. Here at On Point Alliance, we provide identity-related solutions through a diversified scope of services with fingerprinting and background screening being our primary services. To learn more, scan the barcode. Let me get it for you because Arletha didn't get it for me.
You know what? Don't you start blasting me. Okay? Because Arletha has
I
been
like to
working.
point at it.
There you go.
At the top of the screen. Scan the barcode at the top of the screen or click the link in our bio.
Right. Mind Your Business Monday was designed to be a compass for business owners looking to grow and scale their businesses. So the whole concept is to bring different subject matter experts on to talk and share different tips and strategies on just exactly how to do that. So, from our personal experiences through how we're growing our businesses to pretty much in all things business is what we're going to be discussing. So, if you like what that sounds like and want to be informed when we going live, don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you can know it's like, hey, they're going live. Okay.
Because we say the same thing every week.
Every time.
Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Share, and hit the bell so you can get the notification when we are live. Okay. So we have a great show today. Today we have with us Kadena Tate. She is the CEO of Kadena Tate International. Kadena is a revenue strategist and business model designer for authors, coaches, and speakers who want to create movements, masterminds, and membership programs. And you can find out more about her at www.kadenatate.com. You know you better get your own name, kadenatate.com. Kadena, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Look, we need to add to their resume business ninja. I mean, straight up Bruce Lee. What's the Brown? Who was the other man on there with Bruce Lee with the ponytail? The little black man. Who is it? Well, one of the
Jim Kelly.
Like what? Listen, this lady right here, straight up ninja. I don't know the man's name. Is a movie, and I'm getting them mixed up. But if you know anybody, any karate person that cut up, that we looked at, we like, this is the lady concerning business.
Hold on,
all right.
I'm stuck. I'm confused.
Wait a minute, it was a man. He got beat up. He had a ponytail, and he was on one of the shows. It was a karate show.
Bruce Lee have always been by himself.
No. I ain't saying it was his partner, but he was another one that fight all the time. Anyway, if anybody
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan, my boy, him too, because can't nobody. Bruce Lee was Bruce Lee, but
what's funny is there was a show out. It was a black show with a black guy called Bruce Leroy.
Yeah,
and that was this black guy who had this ponytail.
Yeah. Listen.
So she got Bruce Lee.
No, she did not compare me to a whole man. Okay, Arletha.
No, listen. I'm talking about them skills that dangerous, that danger, the assassin. That's who y'all got on here with y'all today. So she gonna hit it up, get your life in order real quick. Okay, so go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out like what black man.
I couldn't think of the name. Okay. We don't know names of songs. We only know pieces of the song. We don't know movies. We only know snippets of the movie.
We make up the name of the song.
So go ahead.
Right. So I singing Kung Fu Fighting.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody was.
Hello.
That cat was my name. Hello, Mia. Thank you for joining us. Well, today, Kadena is going to talk to us about the one thing entrepreneurs can't buy. The one thing entrepreneurs can't buy, and that is time.
I've been telling y'all for the longest.
Kadena, before we get started, tell us more about you and your business, please.
So I am a revenue strategist and a business model designer. And what that means in layman terms, from a revenue strategy perspective, what I'm looking at is how can you bring in new customers or enter new markets or even like redesign what your product and service offerings are, and from a business model perspective, what I'm doing is I'm looking at what are the gaps in your business that are keeping you stuck, whether it's a loss of time, money, energy, resources. That's it in a nutshell, what I do.
Okay. Sound like a plan. Okay, so let's start off with this here.
Mhm.
What is a revenue ninja?
There you go. Come on
Nah,
now.
just like what is a revenue? No. We know who is a revenue ninja. What is a revenue strategist?
Come on.
I actually just told you. So here's what I would say, right? So, like, for example, a lot of times when people come to me, they're
Mm,
stuck in their revenue. So they're working really, really hard for what they basically overwork, underpaid. Okay.
okay.
And so they need to grow revenue, but a lot of times they're working with the wrong customer. So they're in the wrong market, right?
Mhm,
Another thing that they're doing is they have a lot of small, low price offers that could be repackaged into a larger price product, right? A
mhm.
service or even like a mastermind association, a group coaching program, something like this. Or maybe they want to start, some type of subscription-based business model, but they don't know how to do it. So the whole goal is to work smarter, not harder. So we're literally looking at new products and services, new
Mhm.
markets, however you're going to grow your business. So not more of the same, expecting a different result, but literally getting down into the weeds of your business to find out where's the growth, where's the opportunity for us to grow and be of service to more people.
Exactly, because we do know. I like the way how you said that the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
And we do that, right? So let me say this right quick, because I was telling somebody this earlier today, and she was like shocked when I said it. But I believe that when we tell each other the truth, then we're all set free. So you see all these books behind me.
Hmm.
I read all these books, but for 15 years in a row. I wish I could say I was so genius. That's why it makes me laugh when you call me a ninja. Because here's what happened. I spent 15 years reading all this stuff, and I don't know if I expected God to like rain down blessings. Like I walk out the door and money just like flows from the sky, or I pick up money like grass. I don't know what I was thinking, but I wasn't applying what I learned.
Right.
And so I did not start making money in my business until I started applying what I learned. And I also had to be willing to fail forward. I think what stops a lot of us from maximizing revenue are three things. One is our mindset as it relates to how we see money and what we see that we're worthy of. So a lot of us are better givers than receivers. But if you can't receive a compliment, how are you going to receive more money?
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
It's like that. That's one piece. The second thing is our relationship with money. We don't know the language of capital. We don't understand I'm talking about legal structures. I'm not talking about street pharmacy type businesses, things of this nature,
Right.
but
Right.
actually a business and what are the components of building a business. And there are 9 building blocks, whether your business is large or small. And then the third thing is we have been so socialized to distrust one another. But the truth is, if you want to build a multi-million dollar business, it can't be you by yourself. You're going
Right.
to need support. So you got to be able to connect with people and have some integrity about the way that you move so that you can walk your talk and not talk your walk.
Oh,
So
wow.
I just want to add that on because a lot of people think that it's just as simple like they think I can come into their business and do magic wand stuff. But here's my thing. If you don't really believe in yourself, how do you expect other people to believe in you? Do you know what I mean? That doesn't even make
True.
sense.
This is
So
true.
we got to get clear about our own value.
Right.
And just to speak to that, I've been working with Kadena for about, I would say, since about October, November. And
Yeah.
when I tell you, the just being mentally associating myself with a different type of money has changed my life, certain prices and making it reflect my value, and speaking that price to a potential client, and having to be comfortable and not feel like I have to compromise and issue discounts and all of these different things to have that client want to work with me. It definitely was a mindset. And in that, knowing who my clients really are, who will be willing to invest in who I am and the value that I offer to their business without having to push and pull and yank and tug, but can be free in my area of expertise. So that you're absolutely correct. And I thank you. That's why I call you a ninja, because just getting my whole life together. You think you know something until you get ready to try to adjust to the next level. And like you said earlier, not knowing how, but
Right.
it's something on the other side, and being willing to fail forward and not being intimidated. What if it doesn't work? What if this? What if that? So yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Right.
But you just said something that I do want to piggyback on, if you don't mind.
Go
And
ahead.
it's about the concept of value. I think for whether it's whether we're talking to race, sex, or gender, right? We've all been told some type of story about you're either too much of something or not enough of something else. And so people begin to equate their net worth with their self-worth, which is
Hmm.
those are two totally different things, right? So number one, time is one of those things. I call time the great equalizer, because everybody gets 24/7, 365. No one gets more time, right?
Right. This is
So
true.
it's really a matter of, number one, respecting the fact that as an entrepreneur specifically, your time, your undivided attention, and the things that your intellectual property, are of value.
Right.
And so if you don't own that there's a value attached to it, your clients won't either. Do you
This
know
is
what I'm
true.
saying? So that was one of, and it sounds real simple when I say that, but what I will say to you is, for years, and I do mean years, because I just want to be really transparent, I would give away my time. I would give away for free what I deserve to be compensated for. And it wasn't until I hired a coach who I didn't know that I did what they did, because I saw them as an expert,
Mm-hmm.
and I paid an outrageous amount of money to work with them, only to watch that person do with me what I do with other people.
Right.
It
Mm-hmm.
was a painful lesson, and it was a costly lesson, but it helped me to see how I was wasting time thinking that I was not enough, couldn't do enough, couldn't be enough, didn't have enough. I had all of this stuff going on in my thinking that prohibited me from taking the actions that would be more in aligned with wealth, abundance, riches, prosperity, etc.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, Kadena, what would you, and I'm sure you have mentioned a few already, but what would you say some key factors are in achieving business goals by understanding the value of time?
I think that one of my biggest lessons has been the power of no. I think that we've been socialized oftentimes that the default is yes, because when you want to serve people and you want to help people, there's a tendency to say yes to things that we really want to say no to, and
Right.
then you end up feeling resentful. But then that becomes wasted time, because now you're resentful, you're angry, you're frustrated. You're like, man, I don't even want to do this. So you don't put your best energy, you don't put your best foot forward.
Right.
And so that's like a big thing. Like, I really had to learn how to stay in my lane. Like, literally, let me sit in the seat of my superpower, and you sit in the seat of your superpower, so that then we can work together. And then if it's a no, it's not a no. I want to be very clear here. I'm not talking about a snarky no, or a sarcastic no. I'm
Right.
talking about a no from the seat of embodiment of your own power.
Mhm.
No, that won't work for me. Not a no where you're apologizing, you're feeling guilt, shame, embarrassment. You have to explain or justify or defend. Just no. Do you know that's enough? So that's the first thing I would say. Get really clear what you make your yeses, and your no's. And then the second thing I think, one of the things that I know for me, when you're a very generous person, we don't want to tell the truth that you will attract a lot of taker type of energy because
Yes.
Mhm.
you don't know how to set a boundary. And you don't know how to set a boundary for a variety of different reasons, right? It could be things that you were taught when you were a child, expectations that people have of you, because of race, or sex, or gender, just like all sorts of things, but setting boundaries.
Right.
Because, like, here's the thing, like in business, for example, when you're trying to grow your business, let's just say that right now you're at 100,000 and you want to have $1 million business because you want to have 4 locations and let's just say 8 to 10 employees, right?
Mhm.
And right now you have 2 employees.
Mm-hmm.
In order to grow into the person who has 2 employees working out of their home office, into someone who has retail leases at 4 spaces with employees, you have to grow yourself as a leader. You have to be able to set boundaries. You have to say no and mean no and yes and mean yes,
Mhm.
right? You have to be able to tell people what to do and ask people what to do, right? I'm sorry, ask people for support. You have to be able to receive constructive feedback and deliver constructive criticism and or feedback. So you yourself, you're constantly growing. Who you are now is not, you're not going to be the same person. You know what I'm saying? The four
Absolutely.
locations later, you're going to be a different person. So I feel like what a lot of people do, they think that because I'm a revenue strategist and about making money, I'm like, listen, this is what I've noticed. When people get to around 100, maybe like 100, 120, they feel a certain level of confidence and they think that who I am at 100,000 is going to be the same person at 300,000. So they
Right.
try to do the same things that they did, and that's not going to work because you've evolved and your business is evolving and it's constantly evolving. You're constantly having to grow and refine and, and move things out of the way. So if you can't set a healthy boundary at 100,000, how you going to set one at 300,000 or at 1 million?
This is
If
true.
Right.
you understand what I'm saying? If you can't say no, if somebody says, "Hey, I need you to do this, that, and the third," and you are scared to speak up for yourself, then you literally will carry that with you. And now every step, every place in your life where you're blessed, you're going to feel angry or resentful or frustrated or bitter.
Mhm.
And so now you don't even have the spirit of joy. Why would I want to work with you? Because you're grumpy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like we got to tell the truth about that. And so the other thing that I think, just because you can do something doesn't
Come
mean you
on
should be doing it.
Come on. Say that again, please.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should be
now.
doing
You
it.
should do
And
it.
Yes.
I know I have a lot of clients who've said to me over the years, I have them do this exercise where on a sheet of paper you draw 3 columns. You have I can do it, I like to do it, I love doing it. But first, before they write anything, I have them on a separate sheet of paper and I say, tell me all the things that you like to do or that you've done. Write it all out. And then they put them in these categories. And I notice that they start feeling anxious, right? Because there's this whole idea that I got to be prepared for everything. I got to know everything. I got to be able to do everything. Success is not an island,
Right.
and one person alone doesn't build a multi-million dollar company. And you don't roll out of bed doing stuff um, in oh my God, I'm trying to think of what's the term now, half hearted, way, just kind of like
Right.
throwing stuff together. Those are not the things that build successful businesses. Those are not the things that build joy-filled companies. What creates joy-filled companies are clear communication, right?
Right.
Clear expectations, clear boundaries. Everybody knows what their job is, and everybody's highly skilled and loves to do whatever it is that they're doing. Who wants to be surrounded by people who are just kind of like, man, I just want them to give me my money so I can get up out of here.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of people, if before you became an entrepreneur, you had a job, you had maybe you yourself, right, have had that attitude, and now you're a business owner and you're mad because people are sloughing off or whatever, but those aren't your right fit people. So I
Right.
feel like from a time perspective, you really need to focus on what is your zone of genius, right?
Yes.
And then you outsource everything else. And then I know some people are going to say, I can't afford, I can't afford that. I went to dinner the other night with a mutual acquaintance, and she said, the last time we were all together, she said, you told me I needed to hire some people. And I was like, I can't afford that. Well, she hired 3 people at $15 an hour. And then she went out and sold one policy, which paid the salary of those
Yeah.
people.
Wow.
And she said, I'm tripping about how much work I'm able to get done and how much more ease and peace I feel. I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. Right, because you were trying to be superhero or Superman, trying to do all the things in a business. And a business, like I said in the beginning, your business has 9 building blocks. Okay. And the example that I like to use, and so I'm going to use Oprah Winfrey because everybody knows who she is and they know that she had a show. So I'm going to use her because it's the cleanest example that I can think of. Oprah Winfrey was not on the internet sending out emails to people letting them know we're going to be filming this Oprah show. Can you be a guest? And filming the show and handling the lights, the sound,
Come on.
making sure all the people were seated at the door, greeting the people, passing out tickets, sending tickets, doing every single thing to pull that show together. If you watch the last show of the Oprah show, they said that she had over 1,000 employees,
Wow.
1,000 employees to make that TV show work. And if you go back and you look at the credits, so what I like to say to people is when they tell me, can nobody do it like I can do it? I don't want you to go to a movie and I want you to stay all the way till they turn the lights on and look at the credits and count the number of people in the credits who made that film possible, right? Or go on Sesame Street on PBS and count the number of people in the credits. And so here you are trying to be a superhero, trying to do all the things that are completely outside of your zone of genius. And you're wondering why you're stuck in the mud.
Right.
That's why you can't grow, because you have not cultivated your leadership acumen because you're afraid that you won't be liked. If you're a woman, you think, oh, they're going to think I'm mean or, you
Yeah.
know, whatever you're going to think, right? And here's the reality of it is I believe that my business is my assignment. So if my business is my assignment and I need to be a good steward of that which has been given to me. So if I don't know how to set a boundary with somebody, I can't get, to heaven and be like, well, I didn't do what you told me to do because I didn't think they were going to like me and I didn't want them to talk about me. And that don't even make sense. Like when you actually hear yourself say that out loud, it's like, really? We're not in elementary school anymore. Everybody is not going to like you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I don't want to sound like it's a lecture. We're in a conversation. So
No,
those are my
this,
what pops off my head, right? Yeah.
this is so good because sometimes we need to be set down
Right.
without all the fireworks and all the grand appearances and all the fancy wrapped presentation type situations. We need sometimes somebody to sit down and tell us the truth.
Yeah.
We need someone to snatch us up and like, look, this is what it is, and this may hurt your feelings. This may make you uncomfortable. You thought that was amazing. It's not at this point. It can be. And if they have to make up in their mind that they can receive that constructive criticism and quickly make the adjustments so they can be great, you know, uh, each time, even before working with you, I was stressed amongst my team. I'm the CEO. Before I send out emails, I have my right hand, Travis, or my assistant, making sure what I'm trying to convey is what's going out. No gray areas. Let's have each other's back. Tell me if this makes sense. Because just because it's in my head doesn't mean that's how it's coming off. And be okay and not offended when they say, that's not it.
Right.
Exactly.
Because you're stuck and you're wondering why it's not working. And then when you work with someone like Kadena, and in 3 months, you almost half your yearly salary from the previous year just by stopping and stepping back and looking at what you have, identifying the low-hanging fruit, staying in your lane, not devaluing yourself, implementing the power of no, not feeling like you have to settle, things you apply for finally coming through, and you realizing the person who filled out this application is not the person who now accepted. I have outgrown this application and what this program is going to offer me. That's the power of having a revenue strategy. That's the power of having mentors and coaches that are integral enough and skillful enough and care enough about you to tell you the truth, give you what you need to be successful, and you being willing to implement. It's 3 words I like to use: explore, discover, and execute. We have to do that. You cannot be afraid.
I'm glad you just ended with that. Explore, discover,
engage. You got to engage. You got to reach out. You got to see what's available. Discover what's within those findings that applies to you, because not everything applies. Okay.
Right.
Some things are good to know. Some things are need to know. You busy work or productive work. Busy stuff keep you busy. Productive things get you paid. Right. And then execute. Now it's time to move. It's time to figure out a strategy. It's time to put something in place to bring it to life.
So I want to interrupt you right quick, because this is a place where it was a ditch for me. And so I want to make sure that everybody who's watching or listening catches this. You said productive work makes you money. So this is where a lot of people, this is a ditch for a lot of people. And for me, I remember I wasn't, first of all, I was doing all this stuff and I wasn't making any money. And I hired this coach, and he was like, everything looks good. And I'm like, but I'm not making any money. Like, I don't understand. And I said, and you know how they talk about the Pareto principle, 20% of your activities will yield 80% of your results. So I said to him, question, what's the 20%? What are the specific things that are the 20%? Because as an overachiever, under earner, I don't know what the 20% is. And he burst out laughing. He was like, oh, Kadena, stop it. I said, no. I don't know what the 20% is, because if I did, right, I would be making money. And he looked at me and he said, okay, in a business, there are revenue producing activities and there are non-revenue producing activities. The non-revenue activities support the revenue activities. So to be specific, revenue producing activities are marketing and sales oriented activities. So that's the productivity that Arletha is speaking to.
Yeah.
So for those of you who, and I want to be really clear as it relates to marketing, because I don't want any confusion when we get off of this call. Those of you who are on social media, who are posting all day, although that is marketing, there's sales-oriented conversations when you're marketing. And then there's just general letting people know, hey guys, I'm in business. Right? Only one of them leads to sales. which is what leads to cash.
Right.
So you just posting on the internet, you're not going to make any money. You having this amazing customer service experience that you've created, but you have no customers, you're not going to make any money because people expect to receive good service when they do business with you, right? So it's really important that we understand that the path to cash is selling. So everyone must learn how to ask for the sale. This is why your relationship with money becomes really, really important. Because if you have been socialized to give and give and give, and you feel guilty asking for money, you will literally throw your gifts into barren ground,
This is true.
and your business will not grow. And then you will be angry and you'll be praying little prayers like I used to pray, where I was like, Lord, why are you sending me these angry broke people? I used to actually pray that prayer because I thought I was special, you know? And it literally was like I had to learn who's my ideal client, right? This is like everyone needs to know who's your client. Everybody is not your client. Everybody doesn't have what you need. So this is why we have to learn how to run a business like a business. Who's your ideal client? What's keeping that person up at night? What do they have as what they perceive, not what you perceive, what they perceive as a goal that they'd like to accomplish or achieve, or a challenge, a concern, problem, whatever you want to call it, that they want to overcome. You better be on the other end of that. So when I have said problem or said goal that I want to achieve, they need to think of you. Because if they don't, they're not going to call you. They're going to call the person that's visible as the person who's talking about the solution to the problem that they're having. And let me clean that up too. A lot of times we speak in a language that our ideal customers can't understand. This used to make me really uncomfortable, especially as a Christian, because what I felt like I was doing was pushing a person's face in poo. But you know what I realized? And it just clicked one day when I was talking to someone about how I was like, I don't know like how to price my stuff, and I don't know how to do this. And so I'm standing in front of a crowd speaking, and I just casually said, there was this time in my life where I was like, well, how do I get speaking engagements, and how do I charge, and how do I create the products that go in the back of the room? And how do I do this? And how do I do that? And I made more money in that speech than I had ever made. And I had to ask myself, how did I do that? And then I realized, oh my God, in all my other speeches, I would always talk about the solution. When a person has a problem, they can't see the solution.
This is true.
All
Mhm.
they can see is the
All
problem.
of these
So
problems.
if you cannot communicate to them, I see you, I hear you, I understand your problem, they don't know that you're the person with the solution. So if you're over here talking about, this seven-figure business and you being a world-renowned speaker, they're like, well, they can't help me. They can only relate to where they are. You have to meet people where they are. So I just want to be clear about productivity, because a lot of you are doing busy work,
Yep.
right? And you're like, I did something. No, you didn't, because you didn't sell anything. You didn't call anybody. You didn't stick yourself out. You didn't put yourself out of your comfort zone to ask a person for what you want. And a lot of people, I want to give voice to this right quick, very, very quick. Manipulative, the spirit of manipulation.
Come on, talk about it.
I cannot deal. It's like for me, nobody wants to be used. Okay, nobody wants to be used. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of. Nobody wants to be made to feel like a fool or look like a fool.
Right.
People can see a hustle coming 1,000 miles away, even if they act like they can't. They
Right.
can.
Make you see it.
They can see it. So when you're in that energy where you have some type of entitlement energy, where you think that somebody owes you something because they have the money that you need, you have to check yourself. This is where, like, you really, if you want to be in business a long time, you got to cultivate the spirit of integrity. You got to
Yeah.
do right thing even when nobody's looking. Like you cannot be about that hustle scam type of life. A business is not a hustle, it's a business.
Right.
And yeah, it has to be run as such. So people get mad with me when I read their stuff and I'm like, "Ooh, this has strong hustle energy. Like you need to go back." And I'm bold, so I'll let baby, you need the refiner's fire. Like
Yes.
this is like a no, and I'm not going to support you in that. And not because I'm a goody two shoes, but because I strongly believe that you reap what you sow.
You
You
know
know what I
what's
mean?
funny?
So you put that stuff out there into the world, and then you trying to figure out why your life is falling apart. It's because you were, I don't know whether it was a deceptive tongue, you making false promises to people, right? You're like puffing, you know what I'm saying, using puffery to make it seem like you're able to
Mhm.
achieve something that you can't. I mean, I just had to tell a client the other day because she was telling me, and I don't want to say what she does for a living because then that would give away the client. But what she said to me was, "Well, I promised my clients ABC." And I was so shocked when she said it. I said, "Oh, I didn't know that you were God. I didn't know you were the creator of all that is." And she was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "You can't promise people that. What are you talking about? Where did you get that from?" "Well, I
Mm,
just want them to know I did my best." Girl, please. You can't guarantee that people won't be affected by the weather.
this is true.
Like, what are you talking about? So some people need to come down off their big high horses and come down to the ground where the rest of us are and meet people eye to eye, heart to heart, soul to soul, and really start treating people better in terms of in your time. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I know a lot of people. So I'll be 58 next month. I know a lot of people who are living with regret because of how they treated people and the things they did, and then now they got to repair their reputation. You don't want to be one of those people. You
Mm-mm.
don't want to waste time and then you got to go back apologizing to people, asking them for their forgiveness. Just be of integrity. Do you know what I mean? And if you don't know, just say, "Baby, I don't know. I'll do some
I
research
don't
to
know.
find."
You know what? That was a practice that I had even in pastoring and teaching. If I ever didn't have the answer to a question, I say, "Give me some time, and I'll get the answer for you." If I don't have it, because either I can't give you
Absolutely.
nothing that He hasn't given me. But I'm telling you something funny that you say when you talk. We got to be integral at all times. There was this nice little. Of course, my wife was just got back in from New Jersey yesterday, and I was busy buying her things
Y'all,
for
he
her
revamped
office.
my office.
I was buying her things for her office, and I saw this nice little. It was her. It was a girly plaque, and I'm telling you,
Yes.
all the shine and bedazzlement that could be on her, she would just lose her mind. But the reason I did not buy it is because it said, "Every day I'm hustling."
Oh my God, no.
And I
Correct.
could not, I promise that's the reason I did not buy that, because she doesn't hustle. And I just remember saying, "Baby, you treat that like a hustle, that's what it's gonna be. But if it's your business, you're gonna treat it like a business." But I just thought that was funny when you said that, made me think of that. But this is what I want to do.
Yes.
You said so much good
Didn't
stuff, but I'm
she?
gonna tell you what wound up happening was you made me literally think about some of the stuff that we have been doing and the time. And I'm keeping it 100 or keeping it real with the blind. My thing is this. Arletha has this thing where she, if you really want to disrespect her to the utmost, disregard her time,
Yeah.
disrespect her time, she got a whole problem. You call her a few names, she let you get away with that. But if you disrespect her time, that's a whole nother problem, and that
Oh
problem
yeah.
is some severing happening. With me, I this is how I feel about time. I don't necessarily like to waste time, but if I waste time, I want it to be wasted on what I want to do. Okay.
That
I
part.
don't want to waste time on something that I don't want to do. It's like, what did
Correct.
you do today? If I want to waste time with Netflix, that's what I want to do, and that's what I do. What you're saying, it made me think about even what we're doing now. Every week we tell people to we say subscribe. Remember to like,
Yeah.
subscribe, and share. This is things that you're technically you need people to do. because that supports our business. And
Yes.
so when you start talking about not wanting to give, basically, I'm paraphrasing, your valuables
Mhm.
to a barren land, okay, to an
Oh.
unprofitable situation, cast your pearl before the swine,
Mhm.
as the word of
Mhm.
God says.
Mhm.
It made me start thinking about how we even do this. How, in order to be productive, it may be time, and it is time for us to go outside of. If you think about, we go live here on YouTube, our YouTube channel, we go live on Facebook. And then, of course, you monitor the weeks leading, well, not the weeks, but the days after, because we do this every week to see if people who may not had a chance to even watch it before, that they watch it, you still will be able to tell the shares that will happen. When you don't see for weeks those your business things, your efforts, which is what we're doing, when you don't see it being dutiful or producing, then it's time to start going somewhere else. It's time to go outside of where you normally are in this situation, like a Facebook, and maybe you go to a wider audience like a Instagram or a TikTok, and get people from outside of your circle who don't mind, in who want to hear what it is you're saying. Because the truth of the matter is, there are a lot of people that, like you said, people can be in your circle and you find yourself praying, God, why are you sending me all these broke people that don't want to do nothing? No, I'm not sending you broke people. That's just where you're sowing. You're
Yes.
sowing in that area. And it's like you have to start thinking about, wait a minute, if I'm sowing in this particular field, and it's not bringing me a harvest, it's time for me to go outside of there, because you'll find that the people, her trip to New Jersey was because of YouTube. It wasn't anybody that we knew. It
Exactly.
wasn't friends. It wasn't family that was sharing it. It was her being a guest on her mentor show, that somebody wound up seeing her who had been watching them all the time, but said, wait a minute, but it's something about her that made me want to reach out. And then the long story short, she wound up flying to New Jersey to do that. So when you talking about this time, so many people, you're not called to everybody. You're not called to those people who are trying to figure out what it is they want to do, because everybody can say, I want a business, but let's talk about the value of time. Let's say you have a job and you work for somebody right now. How easy is it for you to call off work, to not show up for work? How easy is it for you not to show up to work on time? You have no sense of time. You have no value of time. So, baby, before we even talk about a business, guess what you need to do? You
Exactly.
need to get a real concept and a value for time before you talk about stepping off into a business. Because if you plan on running your business like you are with this job, you already that's already a recipe for disaster.
You said something that you said two things that I definitely want to give voice to, and one is about where we sow our seeds. So for the first 4 years of my business, I used to blog every single day, and nobody ever commented, and nobody ever shared. And then I stopped because nobody was commenting and nobody was sharing. And then I spoke at a National Association of Women Business Owners event. And a woman walked up to me and she said, God, I used to watch, I'm sorry, I used to listen because I did it in audio and I wrote it down.
Mhm.
She said, I used to listen to you every day and then you just stopped. And I was like, what? And then all these people were like, oh my God, it was amazing. And I said, why didn't you comment or why didn't you share? She looked me directly in my eyes and said, you never asked. So I realized a lot of us, we are doing the thing, but remember I said we don't know how to sell because we ourselves don't know our value,
Mhm.
all right? So therefore, it's like I'm doing this thing that we don't realize the value of it. So the reason that I became a revenue strategist in particular, I believe that people do things for one of three reasons. Either they were like me and they needed to figure it out. And as they figured it out, they wanted to share it with somebody else. because so if that person was struggling, because it took me 8 years to make money in my business. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, I'm a smart woman. Why can't I? Why? How do I know all this other stuff, but I don't know how to make money? Like, what's wrong with me? So I wanted to make sure for all the other people who were A students but couldn't figure out money that I could help them too. Because you can be an A student and not understand money and be broke, right? You can have a whole college degree, the whole shebang, and still not understand money because it's not taught in schools in that way, right? So that was the first way that you can learn something. The second thing is you can just learn by doing, and you can share with people. I'm talking about as you're doing it actively,
Right.
like taking them on for the ride, like they're an apprentice, right? Or you can be somebody, for example, who's an expert at whatever they do, like take Serena Williams, for example,
Right.
right? Legacy tennis player. And now, if she wanted to, which I'm not saying that she should or even anything remotely close, but if she wanted to have tennis lessons, and she wanted to have an academy to teach people how to play tennis, right? You're learning from someone who's done it. Those are three ways that you can learn whatever it is. Not one is better than the other,
Right.
right? But we have a tendency to compare. So the first thing that I want people to know is that you just have to be open to learning and you have to be willing to be uncomfortable because
Right.
to go from here to here, it's not going to be what you know. This is the land of what you don't know, right?
True.
That's one thing. The second thing that you said that I thought was really, really important for people to understand is when you begin to look at your gift and or your anointing, however you want to frame that, right? And you begin to look at who are you assigned to work with. I think a lot of people want to be on the luxury end, but they have a budget
Come
offer.
on.
Right.
And they don't want to be honest about that. I see so many people, excuse me, because somebody else is charging $7,500 for 3 months. Well, I'm gonna charge that too. But your problem that you're solving is not urgent, right? A plumber, if your house is flooded and the plumber, like your toilet overflowing is overflow your whole house or your water heater busted, and a plumber who comes in and stops that is going to make more money than someone who's just doing a regular maintenance type of call. I think we've got to get really clear about, you can make $1,000,000 a dollar at a time, $10,000 at a time,
Come on
$100,000
now.
at a time. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, God doesn't really care. Look at a Maserati. That person can become a millionaire faster than somebody selling a $5 book, but both can become millionaires. The
Right.
point is, why are you doing what you're doing? Right? Are you doing it to get rich? Which to me, I don't, and I know it's gonna sound judgmental. I don't like to work with people whose sole purpose is to get rich. I want to work with people who want to leave a legacy because when you want to leave a legacy, that means that you understand that your reputation is at stake. So your reputation is tied to what you're doing. So 25 years from today, 50 years from today, 100 years from today, if you're in a book, when
Mm.
people think of you and they think of your contribution, I don't want to be in nobody's book talking about scammer, took advantage of people, was doing all this different stuff, right? That's not the book that I want to be in, right? I want to be in the book where the person is like, oh my God, look at the stuff that she did. She inspires me, right, to do the thing that I've been called to do. I'd rather be in that book because when we die, the only people that are going to remember you are either your loved ones or the people whose life you changed in a positive and powerful way, or
Exactly.
the people that you lied and stole from. And you understand what I'm saying? Like the stuff that you did. I don't want my name associated with anything of negativity. So, what I like to tell people is if you look at your business through the lens of legacy, I think you'll behave very differently in the present moment because you'll be consciously aware that that's your reputation will follow you. And so, really, the only thing you have of value is your name. And if your name is not honorable, then to me, what's the point?
Just on that note, so many people get excited because they're popping. I'm popular.
Mm-hmm.
And you crap on and burn down bridges to consistent paid where you can pay your bills, loyal customers that they don't have time to shop around and only stop by one time. It worked. They want to stay with you, but you burn down those bridges with them, with these people who one-time deal, and you're constantly having to reinvent yourself, constantly have to resell, constantly. And I don't understand that mindset. It's like, I'm a quality over quantity person. Okay. I want that customer that no matter. I told you, Mill, she a ninja. I'm telling you, an assassin. Somebody said, oh Lord, where did y'all find her?
In my castle practicing my ninja moves.
I told y'all, listen, but the quality over quantity. I want that customer that everything I sell, they buy. They have purchased all of my products and services versus one here, one there, and get excited because I had a bunch of new people who will only buy one thing. And then when they don't like it or get mad, they want to return it and dispute the charge. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So absolutely. That just made me think about that. But when you were talking about selling, I'm just going to talk about one of my vulnerabilities, because so often I am good at, I have a lot of superpowers, okay? And as y'all know, or if you've been watching the show, organization, workflows, systems, conflict resolution, those are the areas that I just naturally occupy and naturally flow in, right? And since working with Kadena, even though I knew it, as y'all see, she don't hold back. One of my areas of opportunity is I don't like being recorded. I don't like videos. She's part of the reason why we have a Mind Your Business Monday. You cannot do what you're trying to do and not put yourself out there. I don't sell. I'm not a salesy person. Well, baby, you ain't got to be a salesy person to sell. And it's funny because my first major sale was because somebody saw me on a video talking, okay, went and did a whole lot of research and chose me out of several other people that they researched. Right. So it's like, you got to get past you. You got to get past those insecurities and change your attitude about selling. Because I don't like to be sold. I don't like hustle people. I don't like you coming forcing your stuff down my throat. I'm not really excited and distracted by shiny objects, right? So it's hard to just sell me, but I need to see the value in it for me. And because that's who I am, but I don't have to do, I don't like how I talk. All these things I found to use as reasons that I won't do it is what changed. And I'm still working in it, y'all. I'm still working in that area. And it's like giving myself permission to be me. I don't have to talk like anybody else on Mind Your Business Money. I'm like, y'all, look, for real. And y'all, not you guys, but y'all. Like, I'm me, and this is what you see is what you get. And I just thank God that having safe learning environments like Kadena Tate International to help me be comfortable in my space and not by what I see and try to emulate or measure myself by. And then when you said Serena, that's my girl. I love her. Just that girl done been through so much attacks and ridicule. As great as she is, so baby, they gonna find something to have a problem with. Period. So I had a guy who he was like a semi, he an amateur professional. Well, I'm not even gonna say amateur. He just won't like Serena now. But in the real world, he was like a top tennis person. So he asked me to go play tennis with him. I never played tennis before. So he telling me what to do, and I'm trying to do it. And in my mind, because I'm competitive, I said, okay, think about Serena. And I closed my eyes and like picture how she stand, what she do. And I made that little noise she make. And y'all, that was the one time the thing hit. It went where it was supposed to. He looked at me. I said, I had to channel my girl. The one time it went where it was supposed to go, I channeled my inner Serena. and I did what I had to do. Listen, when I'm talking to people and I'm in uncomfortable situations, I channel Kadena, pay attention to my breathing.
Serena and Kadena.
And baby, it's time for Travis to hear me in a conversation and not talking like Kadena, but just all of the golden nuggets that she dropped, the confidence that she like, yo, listen. And y'all, she real proper, but she straight up don't let the nice little lady fool you. She gangster for real. And so that's what I love, the balance that some people would never get to see. I get to see all the sides.
All the time.
And just so y'all know, this is the person responsible for our last guest. You know, the other ninja, the other baby ninja that was on the show last week. This a mama. Okay.
So we had Karina last week.
Yes.
And we have Kadena this week. And honorary Serena.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, like, hey.
So Kadena, go ahead. So Kadena has all, if y'all go to her website to connect with her and get in, you know, learn more about her services and consultation. But Travis finna share some information because I don't want to get ahead of where we are. But I'm telling y'all, if you took notes tonight, or if you did not have a paper and pencil or pen, play this back and take some notes, because it sounds like small gems that really gonna get you where you need to go. We didn't have to get real deep and some fancy dialogue, but everything that she's saying carries weight when you're talking about getting to the next level in your business. Absolutely. This woman has changed my life. Yes, I give glory to God, but I thank him for sending people, people who are trustworthy and integral, and that's going to lead and guide me to truth, okay, concerning money, and make me change my attitude and my perspective on selling and my association with money, okay? So I'm going to stop right there because I can go on and on and on.
Before we go to the offer that we have that Kadena will be sharing with us on tonight, one of the things is designed to what you do, Kadena, is designed to make us reach into the uncomfortable places. It's almost, it reminds me of, it's almost like the pastor of revenue strategy, you know, where it's a shepherd's, there's a shepherd's heart for people who really desire to do it. And one of those things as pastors that we do is help people get to those places that are uncomfortable. Those things that are difficult to talk about and feel bad, because we've even learned that through you as well. In our business now, we had to quickly learn to separate, because we went into business with a pastor's heart, and it caused us in times past to waste money because we were dealing with people as if they were members of our church. And it's like, when you're doing that now, it's like you're giving this, but it's like, wait a minute, that's not a good business aspect of how to do that. Even though you may have compassion for a person, this is a business and you have to treat it like that. So that was one of the things that was difficult for me, because when I see a person, I'm like, my first thing is, what's your need? You know, do you need this? Are you late on your rent? You know, what can we do to help you to pay for this, to do this or whatever, so that you can do what it is that you say you want to do. And those are one of the things that we learned. And it was kind of difficult, but we got it real quick. But those are one of the things that you, Kadena, do. And that's one of the things that you offer, with helping people realize ways that they are monies that they are wasting, monies that they are not counting, money that they are not, what's that when you look at it differently? I think it starts with an R.
Revenue?
No. The way that you look at, perceive, perception, the way that you perceive the cash that you have. You know, you say, well, I don't have this. Well, wait a minute. There's a way that you need to look at what you have and handle that cash differently, value that cash, and put that cash where it needs to go in order for it to do what it's supposed to do. So I just want to throw that out there too.
Go ahead.
I know. My next thing was
the last thing I'm going to say, y'all. Listen, go to her website, because the best way I can describe working with Kadena is like she has this long rope that she put in this knot and leave a little opening. She take that rope and sling it to the moon and pull the moon close enough that this all your life you've been looking up at this thing that's so far away that when she pull it, you actually can touch it, see the detail of it. It's obtainable. It's not some mystical process, and still in your truth and in your integrity in the way you do it, not sounding like, looking like, acting like nobody else. And she helps each person. When I tell you this lady's like a resource, and she learned you and your personality and the character of your business, because all of our business have a personality, all of our businesses have a character to it. And does it reflect you? It's times she say that don't sound like you, or that don't look like you, and make you go. So it's important, guys, if you're looking for someone that's going to really help you get to the next level, starting with your mindset. And let me clarify, she's not a counselor, because as you see, if you're looking for a counselor, you're going to probably leave out. She's not that person. No. She ain't got time for that. But I'm really talking about you ready to face the reality of your situation concerning your business and make it healthy and make it strong. This is the person you want to reach out to. And go and set your consultation, okay? So go ahead.
All right, Mr. I'll let you talk about you can talk about your offer for tonight, unless you had something to say before you do that.
I do. There's something I want to address before I talk about the free gift. I want to address sales. My definition of sales is that it's a conversation where you give yourself permission to be yourself. Yeah. Without apology, explanation, justification. And what I mean by that is, first of all, one of my favorite people, and some of you might be like, what? But I love Dave Chappelle. I mean, I do. I love Dave Chappelle. And the reason, so I love him as a comedian, but one of my biggest business lessons came through Dave Chappelle. So on one of his Chappelle shows, he was in like a classroom type of setting. Mm-hmm. And he started singing nursery rhymes. We all know Dave Chappelle is not a singer. He's not a singer. He sounded absolutely horrible. And I laughed till I cried. And I realized that moment when I was looking at him, I said, oh my God, he's making millions. Authenticity has no competition.
Oh, come on now.
Nobody can do you like you.
Right.
Nobody. It's a conversation. This is why you have to show up and be visible, because people can't see you when you're hiding behind your computer and being a keyboard ninja. Nobody can see you. So you have to be visible, right? Yeah. And you have to be so comfortable with yourself, flaws and all, that if you were to break out in song, people can laugh with you, and they can laugh at you, mm-hmm. and you don't care either way, because it's the real you. Follow me? That's the first thing I want to say. Second thing I want to say is, I want to read my own thing here. Hold on one second. Oh, the empathy. With Travis, when you were talking about empathy and compassion, I told a client this years ago. If you know that you're like, we were all raised to be very generous, kind people and to give, mm-hmm. Partner with a nonprofit. Partner with a nonprofit. Align your business with a nonprofit so that out of every sale you make, revenue is going into this nonprofit to help people. So I believe that we have to be good stewards within our business, right? So you yourself don't need to have a nonprofit. You can partner with one. Now, if your business model is set up, like some churches have bookstores. The church is a nonprofit. The bookstore is a for-profit, right? You have to talk to your small business advisor or attorney about what's the proper business structure for your business. But what I'm saying is, when we continue to just give away our gift and we don't compensate, guess there's another entity that swoops in that says, that's not a business, that's a hobby, and that's called the IRS.
Yeah, come on now.
So you don't get to document on paper that you're running a business when you're giving away, you're not a nonprofit, you're a for-profit. So
Right.
if you're giving away all this stuff and you're not documenting it, do you follow me? You're
Right.
putting yourself in grave jeopardy. I had a $65,000 tax bill because I did a transaction, and basically I gave the other person half of the money, but I didn't 1099 them. So I got hit with the tax bill. You got to run your business like a business. And
Right.
that means that it can't just be what you sell, right?
Right.
It's the taxation, right? The legal structures, there's all these things. So this is why when people's like, when, Arletha, you were like, I'm not a counselor. I feel like that's why they have therapists. I'm not one. I'm not a business therapist. I'm not a therapist. I'm a revenue strategist and a business model designer. And I know that I'm going to trigger your insecurities. I'm going to trigger certain things. So I will say to people, I know therapists and I can refer you to one. But during our time together, you might need to wear Depends, and let's get on with the get on because we have work
Okay.
to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
Yes.
I just want to say that. Free gift.
Put your depends on.
What I believe, like I said, I believe you have to be visible. So to me, as entrepreneurs, one of the fastest ways to grow your business is through speaking.
Mhm.
And I don't mean just run around random speaking here, there, and everywhere. I think there needs to be a strategy and a structure to your speaking. Every single day, there are people who are assembled together, in seats waiting on someone to show up, whether it's an association, right? A Rotary Club, a Kiwanis Club, a Chamber of Commerce. People need speakers all the time. Or you yourself can just do a webinar, right? Once a week, or create your own networking group, whatever it is. But speaking to me is the foundational thing because you learn how to communicate with clarity, brevity, and authority, the power of your business and how you can support people. So,
Right.
my free gift is a gift. It's called Reinvent Your Speaker Business Model. It's a little workbook and a video training that's going to show you how to run the speaker part of your business so that then you can generate revenue. So now when you're standing on stage, you can sell from the stage either your physical items at the back of a room, your products, both digital and physical, your services, both digital and physical, right? Or future events, coaching, consulting, speaking, and training. So go to my website, Kadena Tate, scroll down the homepage, you'll see it. Add your name and email address. Happy to email it over to you. Thank you.
Sounds like a plan. Well, guys, again, we want to welcome Miss Kadena Tate tonight for being our guest. Woo-hoo.
Thank you so
You,
much.
y'all, I know you realize you got more than us talking about your time.
Yeah.
Because we hit on some time, but some other stuff got a bunch of other golden nuggets got thrown in there, and that's just how it is working with Kadena. I
Right.
mean, I don't care if you go get a soda, baby, and these straws gonna turn into a conversation on 15 ways to sell this straw, okay? And use this straw, and you're gonna be like, all we did was went and got a soda, and she figured out 15 ways to do it, okay? So go sign up, get your freebie. Get your speaker kit because I'm going to sign up for one because I don't have one, so I want one. Okay. And then connect with her if you're ready. Listen, the key word is ready to grow your business, set up your consultation with her and see if this is a good fit. Because baby, she's gonna let you know if you're a good fit for her program or not. And like she said, pack your Depends, your wipes, all that, because you're gonna need every last one of those toiletries when you come over here talking about being part of her program, because it's not a beginner. This is not for people aspiring to be business owners. This is not people who your business is a side hustle type situation. This is you're functioning, you making money, but you know that there's more. You know there's areas of opportunity that you have not been able to figure out. Your business has been this equation that you stand in front of the chalkboard in your mind. I know I can figure this out, but for some reason, the numbers are not coming together. That is the person need to be reaching out to Kadena. Okay.
Thank you.
So a few announcements. We have, as you guys know, I'm hosting an anthology. is for overcomers, those people, anybody, an aspiring author, anyone, a leader, anyone who overcame something and want to share your story in a safe environment, that you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know all the things, that we're going to coach you through successfully getting your story out, in hopes that it provoke you to go ahead and write that memoir. It provokes you to go ahead and release that book that's been prophesied to you every time you go to church and they call you out and ask you why you ain't wrote your book yet, right? So go ahead and sign up. We extended it actually to April 26th. We extended enrollment per a lot of people's requests. They want to get past getting it, receiving their taxes and all that good stuff. So we can wait on you, but April 26th is the deadline to sign up for the anthology, okay? And then also the fingerprinting boot camp. If you are interested in starting up a low-cost, lucrative business, you want to start a fingerprinting business because you're already a notary or a signing agent and want to add some add-on services that you can control the dynamics of. You already have a fingerprinting business, but you want to scale your fingerprinting business, because if you're in the industry, you already know there are a lot of, can be on a state level, a lot of barriers there that you haven't figured out how to get around and take advantage of other opportunities and receive your certifications and government partnerships and things of that nature. Reach out to me through the link in the scan by scanning the barcode, or in the description. There's a link there to connect with me, set up a consultation so we can talk about if this is a good fit for you. Last piece is, if you're a business owner, trucking company, home healthcare agency, you're not trying to go into fingerprint business, but you have to send a lot of people to get fingerprinted. And you want to save money, time, and resources, because when you send them to get fingerprinted, they stop by the daycare, they go get them some coffee, they in traffic, right? On the clock, you can hire me to train someone in-house. That way they never have to leave. Go ahead, come just set up a day for someone on your team to get them fingerprint, and that certification will be able to do federal, state, and international purposes. Okay, so again, reach out to me for the fingerprint bootcamp. You can go to onpointalliance.com to learn more information about the fingerprinting bootcamp. All right, that's all I have.
Another great show then.
Yes.
Again, thanks to our guest, Ms. Kadena Tate, for giving us a wealth of knowledge and showing off her ninja skills. All right, give me some shout.
Thank you.
And
I need to learn how to roll my shoulders. You know how they do that dance where they shimmy? I can't do that.
Like you cracking your neck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, everybody, we thank you guys for watching with us. Remember to like, subscribe, share. We appreciate your support. We're gonna expand. Like I said, we're not gonna discount anything, or discredit anything. We're just gonna expand. We're gonna start moving out beyond the Facebook, and we're gonna go into those other areas where all social media outlets where we'll be going live, because there are people everywhere who is waiting on information just like this.
Other podcasts, other outlets. You know, I'm learning through Kadena's program. I don't have to grow my business on social media, because when they get mad or feel however, they can shut it down and make you start over. So you better have another way to grow your business other than posting on social media.
Right.
We're not discounting, but it ain't everything. So anyway.
So thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you guys on next Monday. With who's our featured guest next Monday.
So I want to confirm. I'm having a meeting with that person. I want to confirm, because I don't want to make her super nervous and she's like, oh my God. So we're gonna confirm. But we do have a special guest. We do have a special guest that's scheduled to come next week, and we will be posting that information ahead of time, guys. Okay.
All right. So y'all have a great rest of the week, and remember to mind your business. All right.